Welcome to Utah's Fly Corner. I'm Johnny Utah. I'm going to show you how to tie a little sulfur soft hackle I like to use. You tie it on a dry fly, fish it in the film. I also tie it on a nymph hook that I have here and fish it on the swing. The nymph hook will help it break through the surface with the heavier wire. Tie them in size 14s for the beginning of the hatch, when the hatches are first starting. And then as the hatches progress, drop them down to size 16s. But the hook I'm using here is Daiichi 1180, size 14. The thread I'm going to be using is Uni 80 in light Cahill. So I'm going to pull out a decent thread tag. I'm going to start my thread, run it about halfway back. I'm going to double my tag end over. Shorten that up a bit, pinch and loop that tag end on there. Now I'm just keeping it taut as I wrap it back. I'm letting it roll to the other side of the hook, away from me. So I want it on that side. I'm just going to snip my tag end off. Now the tail on the body I use on the fly is pheasant tail. Just select off of pheasant tail. I don't like to use too many fibers. It's about 5 or 6 fibers. You can lose a little less if you want to make them a little skinnier. That doesn't hurt. I just measure a little tail, about halfway or a quarter. Just a little stubby tail. Don't need much. Over it to my side and let the thread bring it in on top. Tighten it up. I do one turn to hold that on there, and then just bring the thread up. Make sure you keep it nice and tight that whole time there. Keep it continually to wrap tight. Back up there. Bring it about 3/4 of the way up, and then you're ready to wrap your pheasant tail. Now just wrap your pheasant tail the opposite way that you wrap your thread. And overlap. Overlap your previous wraps or your preceding wraps. It'll cause the pheasant tail to taper. One more turn in there. It's getting short on me. Caught it. Catch it over. And then one turn on the shank. Do that 2 times. Secure that in. And you can snip out your butt. You want to take your thread. Now spin it. Just twist the thread with your finger and thumb, and just bring it up. Pretty close turns. Just ribbing the pheasant tail. Giving it a nice shade of yellow, light yellow. Turns a little olivey, which that's not a bad thing for sulfur nymphs. And the idea, that's basically representing like the nymph body on it. And then the thorax, you'd be using ice dub, light yellow, UV. Take a little bit off. Dub it on. I like to dub ice dub nice and tight, and then I brush it out. Make sure you leave yourself plenty of room for a hackle and a head. I like to wrap back over the pheasant tail a little bit. See where I'm at. That's pretty good. I like to take my Velcro and just rough up that ice dub. Everything sticks to the Velcro. I just like to grab it all in and then bring it back to about the end of the body. You can work it back around. A little bit of glue on the hook point there from the Velcro. That's okay. I just don't like the long wispy ones, but they don't really matter much. You can snip those off or leave them. Now I like to bring my thread just about one wrap shy of the eye, and then bring it back down. So we get a nice thread base. Now the hackle I like to use with these, and especially for the ones tied on the dry fly, is a whiting head neck. It's the stuff's fantastic. It's webby, but it's rather stiff, and especially with the ones tied on the dry fly hook, it'll really help it out staying in the film. I just strip off some, cut the butt off, and I like to snip out the hackle. You can just strip it off if you wish. I like to do it that way, so it helps anchor it in. Tie it in by the butt, the good side facing you. Get a little bit of a long piece there. Snip that out of there. I run my thread down to the eye and about halfway back up on that mark. I'm going to fold the hackle, start getting it into position so I can wrap it. Just folding it back. And then as I wrap, one turn in front of the other, I'm continuing just to fold the hackle back. Oop, dump the camera. You don't need much hackle on these flies. You don't want to overdo them. 2 complete turns is usually enough. I like to wrap it down towards the eye, just short of the eye, and sweep everybody back. Watch that hook point when you sweep back. And just take nice tight touch and turns, wrap it back over. And my hackle broke off for me with the thread, which that's fine. It's tied in well. And just go right into the whip finish. Tighten your whip up. Snip your thread out of there. You got yourself a great Emerging Sulphur Soft tackle. Like I said, I like to fish them in the film with the dry fly hook, just dead drifting in the film like a stillborn. Works great. I also like to fish them on a heavier wire hook like this, and fish them with a lasering lift, or just let them swing freely in the current. But if you really try to target like with the lasering lift with this fly, it's very rare that I get one to lift up in front of a trout taking sulfurs, and he doesn't take it. It's been a good fly for me. But I'm Johnny Utah. Check me out at my site, www.utahsflycorner, and thanks for watching.